Tyrannosaurus rex. You think it was history's greatest predator, right? Wrong. After the dinosaurs died out, the throne didn't remain empty. It was taken over by a monster with no legs. It was so big that it ate crocodiles for breakfast. It was so heavy that it caused the ground to sink wherever it walked. This isn't a movie monster. This is Titanoboa. And if it were alive today, it wouldn't even fit in the room where you're watching this video. Numbers sometimes lie, so I won't give you numbers. I'm going to show you. Take a standard boa constrictor, multiply it by 10. It's still not enough. In 2009, they found something in a Colombian coal mine. At first, they thought it was a crocodile bone, because it was impossible for a snake to have a spine that huge. But the impossible was real. Titanoboa was so thick, it couldn't even squeeze through a standard apartment door. Its body wasn't the size of your waist. It was thicker than an adult man's shoulder width. 1.25 tons of pure muscle. That means a living hydraulic press. Snakes depended on every bit of this scorching heat from outside to maintain their enormous body size. Titanoboa was like an ecosystem engineer. Its life cycle even affected the water temperature in the region. The average temperature of this period was the snake's energy source. Even the slightest drop in heat would make it impossible for that massive muscle to move. Therefore, Titanoboa had to live in a constant, humid hell, where glaciers and cold air could never reach. Titanoboa was not alone in this hot paradise. Its prey list was as enormous as it was. 3-meter-long giant lungfish, giant turtles, and 6-meter-long proto-crocodiles. Each kill was perfect fuel to grow its body even larger. Hunting was not just a meal, it was a display of power. So, why did nature allow such a monster to exist? The answer is simple. The world was on fire. 60 million years ago, the Palæocene era. The weather was so hot that there wasn't even ice at the poles. Snakes are like batteries. The more heat there is outside, the more they charge up. And back then, Earth was a supercharger station. This heat gave it limitless energy. But this energy came with a price: constant hunger. Titanoboa didn't need venom. Venom is for the weak. It used the laws of physics as a weapon. The attack took milliseconds, but the real nightmare began after. Imagine being hugged by it, 40,000 newtons of pressure. Do you know what that means? It's the equivalent of the Brooklyn Bridge falling on top of you. The prey didn't suffocate, it just popped. Blood circulation stopped instantly, the heart couldn't pump, and the brain shut down in seconds. A quick death? Maybe. Painless? Never. The king's demise was due to the same reason it had come into being: climate. Millions of years later, the Earth slowly began to cool. That 34-degree paradise was slowly disappearing. Ocean currents were shifting. Global temperatures were falling. This was not a sudden death. It was a slow death. As the thermometers slowly dropped below 30 degrees, the snake's massive body was no longer an advantage, but a curse. There was no energy to heat that enormous mass. Titanoboa's heart slowed, its blood thickened. Its cold-blooded body had grown too large even to hibernate. Hunting was no longer a luxury, but an impossibility. Titanoboa, unable to keep pace with the planet's changing rhythm, was slowly outcompeted by smaller, less energy-intensive snakes. All that remains are fossils that whisper to us of that terrifying power and incredible size.
At 0 seconds, blood flow stops. 3 seconds, brain oxygen depleted.
No king lives forever. The Earth began to cool, and Titanoboa's superpower turned into its weakness. There was no sun left to warm that massive body. It slowed down,
I can't believe
it shrank,
real.
and it vanished.
Absolutely terrifying.
But there is a question that keeps scientists awake at night. The Earth is warming. Global warming is turning the planet back into that old, hot hell. If temperatures reach the levels of 60 million years ago, will evolution create this monster again? Could the awakening of undiscovered giants in the depths of the Amazon be just a matter of time?
What concerns many of us is the speed at which these changes are occurring.
What do you think? Could our modern weapons stop a Titanoboa? Or would we be living through our own real-life Jurassic Park? Let's discuss it in the comments. If you survived this video, hit like and subscribe. Next up, the ocean's darkest secret. See you there.
Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon and check out the next video or the full playlist.